the live button. And so we are now live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Just Domestic. It is just domestic tonight. The Scotsman, I don't know if he's got the brown bottle flu or something. Welcome, Mario.
Well, thank you, Mr. Allen B. Pro. It's always great to be next to you and that ravishing radio voice of yours, and just looking forward to a good chat. See how everybody's doing. Oh, by the way, I would not be surprised if Mr. Scotsman is having some sort of date with a substance that will make him feel a little wacko and a little eerie, but good times.
Yeah. I heard something about possibly having the brown bottle flu this evening. Couldn't tell you, honestly. I have seen Gun Loving Grandpa out there who now has a blue wrench, and G23 Bearded CB jumping in. Hey, the link is in the side chat, guys. And you know how Just Domestic works. In Just Domestic, we typically go in the fashion of free for six, because I don't like to pay StreamYard for other people, and I can't use other things. But I will start off in semi-correct form, and we'll go like this.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Yeah, CB. Yeah, that's just about right. That's just about right.
I kind of want to start on a topic that I just recently watched this video, and it really struck a nerve with me, to the point that, look, we understand that not everybody likes Trump, and whatever the case may be, it is what it is. Not everybody's going to like a type A personality. But if you guys recall, like a day or two, there was a story about the Michigan governor, which some right-wing militia groups were trying to kidnap her and all that good stuff. And today, her second person in charge, or whoever it is, like who is this guy? I forgot. He's one of the I think he's like second in command in Michigan, attorney general, some crap like that. Anyways, this guy gets on TV and has the nerve to blame that the reason why this plot against the governor was this was all the workings of our president, because he failed to say that to condemn white nationalism or whatever the hell that is. And I find it odd that the Democrats cannot blame themselves for the causes of the stuff that's going on in their state. The reason why things are going as bad as they are in Michigan is because these legislators have created this crap, but yet have the balls to put it on the president. There's certain things I can blame the president, but that's not one of them. And I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's going on with this crap. How they're coming up with this white supremacist thing, and how this is with the president. I don't understand it. I don't even know where I'm coming from with this crap, man. It's kind of stupid, to be honest with you.
Well, that was a big portion of what you hear the left complaining about during the first presidential debate, was Trump wasn't willing to condemn the KKK and the white supremacist movement. The man has done it so many times that it's unheard of. No president has ever done it anything like he's done it. He has said so many times, I denounce white supremacy, I denounce this, I denounce that. He's talked about it so much, but yet they still want to try and utilize this as fuel for their fire. And it's like, okay, that's because of what? They just don't want to let.
No, it's because Michigan is a swing state, and it's a very important state. And and the reason why they're trying to turn off voters from voting towards the president is because they know that if they lose those electoral votes in Michigan, they're fucked. Kingpin, you want to add something to this?
You guys are still talking about the Gretchen Whitmer thing in Michigan.
Well, no, it's just that the Attorney General of Michigan decided to open his fucking mouth and started blaming the president for the actions of some people, which is bullshit. I just don't agree with it.
Well, yeah, it's total nonsense, and I've been screaming it since 2016. It's just one more reason why you got to vote for Donald Trump. Because if they're going to do this to the president, what do you think they're going to do to you?
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense why they keep beating this dead horse with the president, saying, "Oh, well, he refuses to denounce white supremacy." Really? He has said it publicly in the media so many times. Oh, well, do it again. Oh, well, you won't do it right now. You won't do it right this second. No, because I'm not your freaking hand puppet. I'm not going to just do something because you say to do it. This sounds like to me something that I would just be like, no, go eat a bowl of dicks. I'm not going to say it just because you're telling me to say it.
Well, it's worked forever. That's why they're still using it. And that's why they're using it more and more, is because 10 years ago it worked instantaneously. But calling somebody racist was the end of their career, end of their social life, end of it would destroy a person.
It's just sad that the times we live in, back in the day, if you ever said you were a socialist and you're a politician, your career would be over. But now it's like it's like welcome, and I'm like, do people not really understand what socialism and communism is, and what this shit would do to our country if it would ever be tried to implement it?
No, because people have let go of their their children's education, and they've been taught this for high school, college especially is taught that the reason that Venezuela is such a dump is America's fault. The reason that Cuba is such a dump is America's fault. Pigs and capitalists destroyed Cuba. That's why Africa, nobody ever wants to talk about why there's nothing ever significant happen in Africa. Nothing. Because it's America's fault. It's racism's fault. That's why. Why did Russia suck so bad? Well, it's America, capitalist America. That's why.
Well, you definitely don't want to know the numbers. I would not go out and research them to find out how many white farmers have been killed in South Africa. It's not like their crosses line the biggest highway down there.
You don't have to look really hard. There's an active slave trade in China right now. There's an active slave trade in almost all the Northern Africa countries except for Egypt. Definitely in Libya. And Gaddafi warned everybody. He told Hillary Clinton, if you kill me, this place is going to turn into a rat's nest overnight. And she said, yeah, that's the point. You're dead.
Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense at all. But with this whole thing, how there's no way at all and I don't understand how they can even try and spin this onto Trump.
They're covering up for their race. Look, white supremacy is a major, major problem in this country today. Now, most people are thinking white supremacy, the KKK hood or the neo-Nazis with the shaved heads. Those people are clowns. We've been laughing at them for decades. They're pretty much irrelevant in this country. But the real white supremacists, you can find them in Antifa. A bunch of white people screaming at black racial epitaphs at black people all over the place. And guys like Mario, brown skin, if that's the political whatever, beautiful too. Man, he is good looking. But they're going to call him a sellout, a traitor to his. Now these are middle class, upper middle class, highly educated white, mostly girls, that are going to tell Mario he's selling out his race. You want to find some more white supremacists? Black Lives Matter.
Okay, so I mean, if that's the case, then what do we call those people that left the walk, that started the whole walk away movement?
Well, they're bigots. They're science deniers, because for some odd reason, a massive LGBT community doesn't believe in diversity anymore and doesn't believe in the gender stuff anymore. When they still do, it's just they believe in patriotic Americanism first. And they get attacked. Black Lives Matter was beat up Brandon Straka's buddy a couple weeks ago.
It was awesome. I loved it.
So they're
see the thing about it, man, is that I'm starting to see more of the right starting to stand up for themselves. Now locally, we just had this incident where BLM and Trump supporters got into it, and the BLM guys got their asses handed to them. It was fucking
that's the way it always is. They can't fight. Everybody wants to. Now the Proud Boys are like a popular conversation, but 3 and 4 years ago, the Proud Boys
is what they
saved
do.
the West Coast. 3 or 4 years ago, when all this was happening, it was the Proud Boys out there beating Antifa up. I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, and that's the one group that the president has mentioned publicly, and the left even says, "Oh, well, he didn't condemn him. He just said to stand down." Why would he condemn them? Why would he condemn them? They're patriots.
I didn't agree with that question. I just to me it was kind of like out of nowhere. I'm like, where did this guy come up with this bullshit? Like, it was kind of like that, like the question that what's her name asked the president back in 2016, and it backfired her, and she ended up losing her job at Fox. What was her name? Who cares? But anyways, yeah, I just don't get where this guy fucking came with that question. I'm like, what the fuck? And you're a Fox News fucking guy? I mean, I'm just saying, it don't matter whether you're MSNBC or whatever the fucking case may be, but in reality, I just didn't like the questions that they asked. It just seemed to me like they were more for the left than for the right. And it seemed to me like he had an agenda in this whole debate. And I kind of didn't like that shit.
Yeah, and we've seen all the memes and stuff come out since then that the president wasn't debating him; he was debating the moderator, and yeah, to a certain extent, but also to a certain extent, I feel that this was the first, and so. Was it going to be leaning both directions as the debates go on?
Yeah,
probably.
And then think about it. Now they want a virtual debate, and I'm glad the president decided to decline. I think that's the best way, because in reality, you stop and think about it. If he does a virtual, they can just mute his fucking microphone. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can pretty much control him because it's controlled by somebody at a control room in that brings the feed in. So I can understand why he decided not to. Um, I mean, also, I mean, if he just got COVID, I mean, I don't think it's in the best interest of anybody to be doing any kind of debates. In reality, I don't think we need any debates anymore. To be honest with you, I think it's just let's just do the shit. Fuck it. I think everybody's already drawn their line in the sand on this shit, and it's what's the point of having a fucking debate? I don't get it.
Well, the debates, the debates were originated so that you could actually get a better judge of the character and the individual and how they compose themselves and where their stances were on things. And for the most part, I agree that works. And to be able to work under pressure and you could see him live, Johnny on the spot, when given the questions on if they're even going to answer the question or if they're going to dance, like Joe Biden on how much money his son got from the Ukraine and Russia. Well, so at this point, I do appreciate the debates. The one thing that I don't like, Joe Biden started it off with the first presidential debate, and Kamala Harris, Chlamydia Harris, or whatever her name is, I call her Chlamydia, but anyway, they treat it like it's a campaign thing. It's not a campaign thing.
No, it's
This is a debate. Don't look straight at the camera and talk to the American people. You're talking to everybody. Everybody can hear you, obviously, but you're in a debate with the person that's on the other side of the freaking podium from you, not the moderator. Debate the person that's on the stage with you. Don't look at the camera and give your same drug out freaking campaign spiel.
Well, see,
that's what we were getting out of Biden. That's what we're getting out of Kamala.
Yeah, so it's to be honest with you, like the vice president debate, I only watched a little bit, but I was just disappointed because in reality, the narrative is not changing either way. But I really do think that Mike Pence did a good job of putting the issues out there. The only thing I don't like about Mike Pence, he has a tendency of kissing the president's ass way too much, and he doesn't get to the fucking point, and that irritates the shit out of me. And it's like, dude, it's okay, we all know what he's done, but he starts this whole spiel about all this other shit, and then he gets this fucking question. I'm like, dude, you're killing me. Just fucking answer the question, bro.
I was getting a bit of that myself. To me, it was like watching paint dry. It's like, come on, Pence.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking brutal, bro. I watched 15 minutes and I was like, I'm done. Fuck this shit. And I just think Mike Pence needs to just fucking get his point across without fucking coming up with a narrative and shit. It was drawn on and it kind of turned a lot of people off. I know it did for me, but it is what it is. Thank God they only had one fucking debate, because if not, we'll be fucking 3 hours into this shit still talking. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, Mike Pence doesn't have a very attractive personality. He's not easy to listen to. He's kind of very monotone, long, and drug out. But it takes forever for him to get to the damn point. Chlamydia, she's just like regurgitating the same bullshit that you've gotten in the entire Biden campaign. She's just Oh, but don't question my skills in the courtroom. I'm the only one here that's worked in a courtroom. Whatever.
Hopefully one day we'll see her on the other side of the courtroom. In the defendant's chair.
Yeah. Yeah. I all right, I gotta do it. So yeah. Will would not answer the question at all if they'd stack the courts. Would not answer the question at all if they'd stack the courts. I just was just like, yeah, that's blatantly obvious. It's blatantly obvious. Even Pence was like, "There's your answer. There's your answer." She will not give you a straight answer. She blows
Exactly.
smoke up your ass with political jargon and bullshit.
No, you know where she really fucking like my blood started boiling when she started talking about the military. And I'm like, you know what? First of all, you motherfuckers haven't done shit for us because we had Barack Obama, and that motherfucker didn't do shit for me. And during his presidency, he didn't do a fucking thing for it. I think he gave us one pay raise the whole fucking 8 years he was there. And the other one came from Congress. It didn't even come from his punk ass. And he pretty much minimized the force to the point where everybody was doing twice the work with less people. Um, the Democrats don't give a fuck about the military. They never have given a fuck about the military. When I first started, Clinton was in office, and this asshole actually dropped our fucking our medical benefits to the point that we were paying partial amount of our money was going to paying for our medical expenses. And they don't really talk about it, but I know for a fact because I would look at my paycheck and it would have like this credit that was actually taken off or subtraction of my money, and it was for TRICARE. And that shit really pissed me off. To me, it was kind of fucking insulting that they would do that. But you know, I am a firm believer that they don't give a fuck about the military. They really don't give a fuck about national security. They are more worried about how can they get more fucking voters to vote for them. And whether you're fucking Hispanic or black, that's their target is. It's not white people anymore. And the thing about it too is that black people are starting to notice the shit too. That's why there's so many of them that are doing the whole walk away movement and shit. You know, it's crazy. Now they're targeting Latinos, and I think Latinos need to fucking open up their fucking eyes because this shit is fucked up. You should see the lies they talk about on fucking Univision and Telemundo. It fucking boggles my fucking mind.
Well, that's their strong point is they did answer the question about packing the Supreme Court. They answered it. I mean, you got it. Chris Wallace said it himself. Everybody on CNN, everybody on MSNBC, and in the New York Post all said that they answered the question. Well, obviously, we know that they didn't answer the question because the media is just going to cover for them. Now, if we had an honest media and a politician running for the president said, I'm not going to answer your question because that'll just be a headline, the reporters should say, yeah, dummy, we're reporters and you're running for president. Everything you say is a headline. But they get away with saying something like, we can't give you a story to write. That's why we're not going to answer this question because the media are just progressive liberals, all of them.
Well, even if they aren't, they are instructed to be by their own paychecks and their careers. Because if they go against that, they go against their narratives, then they're going to not only lose their job, they're going to lose their career. They'll be black labeled anywhere they go.
Well, then there's another thing. If they're not progressive leftists and doing it on purpose, then they're heartless sellouts and doing whatever the golden dollar tells them to do. They can go get jobs somewhere else. You don't have to work at CNN. You don't have to work at MSNBC or the Washington Post. You know, if you really desire to be a journalist and bring the truth and hold people accountable, then it doesn't matter if you get fired from a place that pumps out fake news. It's actually probably a badge of honor. You could say, hey, I tried to tell the truth over at CNN and they fired me.
Yeah, it's just a matter of if you could get that statement out. Because they'll just completely black label you. They'll take you out of the system and you'll disappear, sort of like one of Hillary Clinton's problems.
Yeah, but you'll disappear with your morals intact.
Yeah.
And to me, that's more than the $100,000 a year paycheck or whatever, you know, reporters get.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There was something else I wanted to talk about. I think kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yes, the upcoming hearing for Amy Comey Barrett. I got a feeling this is going to be another Kavanaugh shit show, guys. What do you guys think?
I totally expect so. That's exactly what I expect for it to be. I expect it to be basically the same BS. It's going to be a shit show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Lindsey Graham, one of the worst things that happened in the Republican Party, in my opinion, Lindsey Graham is looking forward to it happening. Now he's out there running around saying we're going to let the American people see what the Democrats are really like, and the American people are going, we saw what they like, we know what they're like. Cancel the hearings and just push the lady through. Let's get this over with. But Lindsey Graham wants to play the swampy little game like the swampy little monster he is. So we're going to get 2 or 3 days worth of them calling Amy Coney Barrett a kidnapper.
So Val, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. Sorry I'm late. Dinner was running late, so everything was running late.
Well, hopefully you caught it and cooked it before the show.
Yeah, all set. Now I'm just gonna enjoy a adult beverage. What are we talking about?
We were talking about the upcoming hearing for Amy Comey Barrett and how I think this is going to end up being another shit show like Kavanaugh's hearing was.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of living in strange times. Really, really, really strange times.
Yeah, I totally feel that it's going to be like as much as that's the best thing you can compare it to. It's going to be a Kavanaugh shit show. There's going to be it's such a waste of the court's times to go to do it.
Well, I mean, in reality, you still have to have the Senate to vote on it. So, I mean, do you still want to have the hearing because you really want to know the person's, at least the candidate's, point of view on things? I mean, I think that's something that's very critical. What I don't like is that they take their narrative to a point where it gets too personal, and it gets to a point where it has really nothing to do with the person's ability to fucking do their job as a judge. It's more about their character or what they believe in. But in reality, I don't think they have enough against her. I mean, seriously, if you want to go against her because she's Catholic or because she adopted 2 kids from Haiti or wherever it was, I mean, this lady is amazing. She's like a fucking poster child for the right, man. And it's like it bothers the fucking left because they know they don't have enough on her ass. and it's
Well,
going to get great.
as far as finding out who she is, if we're talking about Amy Coney Barrett specifically, she's got a stellar judicial record. I mean, you can go look it up. I've been looking at it a little bit, and she seems super solid judicially. Plus, less than 3 years ago, they already vetted her. All these same people that are going to ask her a bunch of questions already asked her all the same questions. So it's not like this is a stranger that they're pushing forward.
No, I really have no idea what they're going to be able to make up to try and counter her going into these.
I just think they're going to make it personal to a point that you're going to wonder, like, damn, what the. I wonder if there's going to be some surprise guest at the end, because for the Kavanaugh, if you think about it, the first 2 days everything was smooth. They didn't have shit on him, and then all of a sudden, like the third or fourth day, all of a sudden some lady came with some bullshit allegation, and all of a sudden we had a hearing from her, and we had to hear her bullshit, which is all fucking not legit. I mean, like, I mean, I just, to me, she was not credible.
Well, the problem, Judge Kavanaugh, any man is an easy target. If you want to go after any man, just accuse any man of sexual assault. Period. If you got a guy you don't like, start throwing sexual assault charges at him, and he's screwed. Once again, 10 years ago, if somebody said you were a sexual assaulter of any kind, your life was over. Done. And no matter how much you proved that you were not and you were right and they lied, your life was over. So Kavanaugh has a penis, so therefore they could say he's a rapist.
It's like the same thing with Clarence Thomas. I mean, think about it.
He has a penis.
They
Any man.
didn't have shit on him the first 2 days of his hearing. They didn't have any. I was a little kid, and I still remember this shit.
The pubic hair on the Pepsi cup.
Mm-hmm.
But Barrett, they'll go after her religion, they'll go after her race, and they'll go after probably the abortion thing, and attack her on her stance on that kind of stuff, because she can't really accuse a woman of being a sexual rapist or whatever.
Yeah, but they're probably gonna bring up her Christianity and some crap that they're gonna say that she's biased against the other religions and blah blah blah, something like that. They're gonna find something that's I mean, they don't have to have a facts. All they have to do is make something up that'll stick. That's the saddest part.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. They don't have to have the facts. They just have to have anything that they can possibly come up with, some BS to work into something that is something when it never was anything to begin with.
And I guarantee you that the all-star and all this shit is going to be Kamala Harris. I already fucking know it. I already know it, because I remember when she started asking questions of Kavanaugh, I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Well, it's just like the Kavanaugh hearings. Feinstein had that information about Blasey Ford the whole time. Now, you mean to tell me that you let this man sit down there for, 2 days of hearings, almost get to the very finish line. He was reaching out to touch the finish line, and you said, oh, wait a minute, we've got this huge story of him being a serial rapist. Wouldn't that be the first thing you brought up? Like, day one, hi, everybody, this guy's a serial rapist.
It's not convenient for them, dude. And not only that,
if it's true, if they could prove that Brett Kavanaugh was a serial racist, as soon as the meeting was gavelled in, somebody should have stood up and said, I got evidence he's serial rapist.
But one thing I do like about Judge Kavanaugh and also Judge Thomas is that they both stood up for themselves, and they laid a hammer on their ass, and I was laughing my motherfucking ass off when they did that, because it's like, you gotta stop and think about it. These guys have worked their lives fucking busting their ass through college, then going to law school, and then becoming really good litigators, and then becoming judges. You think they're just gonna let you just fuck them over like that, dude? It's like, you're not, nobody's gonna put up with that shit. I know if I'm a judge for so many years, and all of a sudden you want to question what I done, like I would be pissed too, you know.
Well, and ultimately it doesn't really matter if Biden and chlamydia get in office, because they're just going to end up stacking it anyway. They'll just keep throwing people in there until they've got control over it, and they refuse to say that they won't.
So what do you guys think gonna happen first week of November?
Oh, they're gonna delay the results like a motherfucker. I already know it. I already know that the first night and probably up to like maybe the fourth night, we won't even have any kind of results.
They're gonna have to show the results, because if no, they're gonna have electoral college, the electoral votes in there, so it all boils down to which way it's gonna go. You know,
Facebook and
Well,
Twitter.
see, here's my
Yeah.
thing. It's just that, I'm wondering how far the left will go. I mean, think about it. Fucking Pelosi just brought up the whole fucking 25th Amendment like what, a couple days ago. I'm like, really, bitch? Your ass is fucking loony bin too. How the fuck are we not fucking talking about your ass and your
Yeah, but
ability to be a fucking Speaker of the House?
This is the third time they've tried the 25th Amendment on Trump. People just forgot about the first two.
well, let me ask you this: what's gonna happen if the elections go all the way around? What will the right do? What will you do? What will people do?
If Donald Trump gets beat fair and square, then I'm going to say, Mr. Biden, President, sir, hopefully you have a good term, and hopefully you don't destroy our country.
See, the problem between us and them is that we don't fucking cry about it. We're gonna fight you, but we're gonna use the court system and whatever other system there is. But we're not gonna go out there and pout and fucking get in a marching section time. But not my president. We don't do that shit.
Well, that's my point, because November 4th, most of us will go back to fucking work, because nothing gets handed out to us. So, but all these other guys that are protesting the streets and burning, but peaceful protesters and all that shit, they don't have a jobs to go to.
Most of them aren't even voters. Look,
Yeah.
now you got to tell me, Antifa believes in anarchy. They say they do. Really, what they believe is them being in control of the government and power. They don't vote. Those idiots aren't voters. You think all those rejects that are walking down the street with their fist in the high, you want Black Lives Matter, everybody, are huge voters? No, of course not. If they were, why is Joe Biden standing where he's at and not Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders lost to Hillary Clinton. Well, he cheated and helped Hillary win. He was in on it.
Here's my thing: is I don't understand how Bernie Sanders can still be in the Democratic Party, man.
Because he's a Democrat.
He's got.
He's a Democrat. Yeah, but he didn't. That's the thing. They want you to think that Bernie got screwed twice. Bernie didn't get screwed twice. Bernie was in on it. Bernie and Hillary sat down and said, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to run and gun and yell at you, and then you're going to beat me at the end, and I'm going to talk all kinds of trash, but I'll support you at the end. Don't worry, I'll bring my...
Here's the thing. You need to stop and think about it. Bernie has some diehard fucking supporters, and a lot of them did not vote for Hillary Clinton.
They're not this time either, though. The internet exploded last week when Joe Biden came out after or 2 weeks ago after the presidential thing, and he said he's not going to defund the police. He's not going to tear down the wall and all the other not stuff that I'm not going to end fracking. All the Bernie Sanders voters were like,
that's a bunch of bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit. And
they're not going to vote for Biden.
Yeah, and I can tell you because I live in a fucking county that produces a lot of petroleum, a lot of fucking fuel for the West Coast. Like the two main items or the two main commodities that we have in my county are petroleum, natural gas, and agriculture. And the shithead fucking Newsom has stopped fracking altogether. So the only thing you can do is pump oil out of the wells that you already created. So if they want to tell you that they're not going to frack once fucking Biden shows up, you guys are fucking idiotic. Because that's their whole fucking point. that they're really going big on fucking like solar and wind and all kinds of shit, because in reality they think that that's the next generation of shit. But let's stop and think about it. Everything is battery operated. What happens when those batteries run their course? You have to fucking dispose of them, and they're just as fucking nasty and as lethal as any fucking thing else out there. And as a matter of fact, I think batteries are more corrosive and more damaging to the environment than fucking petroleum is.
They know that too, and they're not going to end fracking. They're not going to end oil. Look, these people are liars through and through. Everything about all of their minutes of their lives from birth to now has been a lie. They're not going to uproot this country. Now, let me ask you, Mario, Val, Alan, if I had this beautifully baked cakes, and Chris Wallace was talking about building a cake, and it was every flavor and taste that you guys it was your favorite, and I handed it to you, would you start stomping it and shooting on it? No, you take care of it and you eat it and then enjoy it. You think Nancy Pelosi, when she gets the reins to the United States, is going to destroy it? She's going to take this wonderful machine, the most powerful machine that history has ever seen, called America, and turn it into Cuba? No, she's going to make your life Cuba, but she's still going to pump oil. They're not going to stop that money train that oil is. Come on, forget it. You think they're going to bring soldiers home from all over the world? No, because those soldiers make America control the planet. All the stuff that America does is they're going to do the same. Only thing they're going to do is put more money in their pocket and take more money out of yours.
Well, you got a point. You got a point. You got a point on the oil, because I'm a big fan of reusable energy, solar and all that. I mean, we have, look up in the sky. You got a huge source of unlimited power, and we can't harness it. I mean, we literally can't, because still all the solar panels that we have, all the other crap is still a joke. So it should be 1,000 times better than they should be putting money into that as well. But I was just talking to my daughter the other day and tried to explain her that how oil runs the world. So let's say Mario comes up with this brand new solar panel that's super whatever, million times better than whatever I have right now, and it's at quarter of the price of whatever it is right now, right? So what's going to happen? Two things will happen, okay? They'll either steal it from him and Mario's going to wind up dead, or Mario's going to be wealthy man that nobody ever going to know how he got rich, because they'll just buy that shit from him and bury it. Now, you got to look at it from the different point of view as well. Now, if they were to just take that thing, that panel, and just release it to public out of the blue, and they just mass produce it, all of a sudden, all these people in the oil industry are fucking got no jobs. All these rich people got no money coming in, and it's like a trickle effect. So all this shit needs to be done, on smaller scale and progressively. So yeah, you're right. They're not going to give up the reins to the free world.
Plus, you have to understand that I don't care if you figure out how to rub your hands together to power your house. No other renewable energy. Oil is never going anywhere. Never. Everything that you see in your house, one way, shape, or form, is thanks to oil. There's not. You're going to have to magically invent something else that's in 99% of everything you look at, or involved in making anything that you look at, to get rid of oil. That's ludicrous. It's not physically possible. We'd have to totally reinvent energy and figure out. Solar power is not going to help make plastic. You can't mix some sun into some dirt and make plastic, but you can mix oil into some dirt and make plastic.
All right, you got a point there, but if you take and we burn X amount of oil instead of making it into plastic, then now all of a sudden, let's say we have a 200 years worth of oil left in the planet, and we're still going to be using the regular engines, and burn all the fuel in there.
Look at the fucking drunk showed up.
We're going to run out. But if we're going to find out how to use all this energy somehow else and use oil for production of certain materials that we can use and reuse, then it's we got a better chance as well.
Well, oil is also not an infinite, a limited resource. The progressive Democrats and the lobbyists will tell you that we're running out of oil, And that's not even remotely close to true. There's so much oil on the planet right now that we'd have to go 100 times faster than what we're doing now to burn even a dent in it.
Well, and in all actuality, the stockpiles that America keeps of oil is absolutely insane considering how much oil we purchase globally.
Yeah, remember all the tankers sitting out in the middle of the ocean at the beginning of what was it, Russia and Saudi Arabia were having that oil war earlier this year, and all them tankers had to park in the middle of the ocean full of oil because they couldn't do nothing with it.
Yeah, and we've got so many depositories in the US, but we don't utilize them. We go ahead and we buy all our oil from the Middle East and
Yeah,
we're leaving our depositories alone.
yeah, we
So
don't use it. We use somebody else's shit. Like we used to
yeah,
follow the Saudi Arabia's fucking shit. We're in Kuwait.
Plus, going back to why Gaddafi's dead, all oil on the planet is bought and sold with the U.S. dollar. Now, you think Nancy Pelosi is going to turn that off? Where are we going to get all our money? How we control? Like that's why it's so foolish when people talk about we're going to Iraq to fight for the oil. We're going to the Middle East for a war for oil. We own that oil. We don't have to go kill anybody over it. We own it. You can't buy or sell it without us. If you try to, we come kill you. Plain and simple. So why would they stop that money train right there and the power that they have over every single human being on planet Earth? Just get rid of oil right away? Okay, sure. Okay, good idea.
Yeah, let's give a rousing welcome to the one, the only, the raging drunk, the crazy Scotsman. How are you, buddy? We kind of missed you, but we kind of didn't. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys are all getting shit faced over there in Georgia, but I love you. Anyways, that's all I had to say.
yeah. Why use our oil when we can use up everybody else's first? Because of the rest of the world is fucked once that happens. And that's exactly it. Yeah, okay. We will use all of your shit. And you know what? Eventually, we're going to be the only ones with it.
Yeah.
Who controls the planet now without? I mean, it's there's just a little bit of strategy involved in that. I think anything more than 4 toddlers figure it out.
Is it my internet or is it yours, Alan? Because you kind of
No, it's gotta be his. He sounds like a robot.
Yeah. Oh, you guys don't drink?
Very well might be mine.
I'm sorry. I guess you guys are like in Germany. You guys have beer and for breakfast, huh? But anyways, Alan, refresh your shit, buddy. Yeah, that's a good one, Zen Master. That was more gooder. Thank you for letting us know that. How are you doing, by the way?
I saw an interesting
video. Very nice of you. Just saying.
I saw an interesting video on YouTube a couple days ago. It's the first time I ever saw the channel. It just happened to pop up in my feed. But this guy has been collecting 22 long rifle. Every time I open my mic, the phone rings. Has been collecting 22 long rifle for like 20 some odd years, and then he's just been selling it through his YouTube channel, and he had stacks and stacks of cash up there. I don't know if it was fake or not, but it was pretty interesting. He said that he's had this ammo for over 20 years, and he doesn't shoot it anymore, so now he's selling it at a major profit.
That would be a major profit right now. I mean, if he's been stockpiling that stuff for the last few years, and to be able to turn it right around, even if it's just 22, man, the price of 22 is even stupid ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
22 is plentiful around me, and still at a pretty decent price.
He had thousands of dollars. I mean, in the video, he had stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. So who knows? He could have been lying. Like I said, it's the first time I've seen the video, so I don't even know who the guy is. But good for him if it's true. And a much older guy too.
Problem with the ammo and selling ammo, same like selling primers. Problem is shipping. You can't ship it as an individual, especially primers. So that's the biggest problem. You stockpiling and you want to sell it, and I'm assuming you want to sell it more than just locally. Now you got to issue shipping it. Yeah, you can take a chance. You can just ship it regular post office. You don't tell them, but it's 22, so shit might happen.
I think Alan, no, he's back.
Yeah, even in my neck of woods right now, 22 is even still hard to find. And if you do find it, it's like stupid expensive. It really is. Now I haven't been up closer around to some of the smaller stores in the city, but down here around my my corn farms and so forth, everything is still really hard to find or stupid expensive.
I saw the greatest 22 pistol I've ever seen. There was one of them that came out a little while ago. I think Gizzard Gary might have it, and I was considering buying it, maybe the tourist version. But this guy had a Keltec. It was a PMR 30, and it had a 30-round magazine for 22 mag, fully loaded. It still felt like a piece of paper in your hand, and when you shot it, I put 2 rounds through it, and it was like shooting a cap gun. I mean, the thing was so fabulous. I've never, not a big 22 pistol fan, but I'm considering getting that one day.
Yeah, somehow all my pistols are only 10 rounders.
This one's, I mean, it's shocking. It was a 30-round magazine, and it's like a double stack magazine, so it was really cool.
Yeah, I don't believe that I've even ever shot a PMR 30. No, I don't believe so.
Well, I didn't even know it was a thing until today. I was down on my lane, and this guy was on the very other end of the pistol side. And the guy next to me, I was just helping out. And the dude just walked out and was like, "Hey, man, you seem like you're really interested in weapons. I want to show you this one. I bet you've never seen this one before." And I had never even heard of it. Like I said, I'm not. The only thing I know about Keltec is the videos Rupan puts out, because I know he likes Keltec stuff. But 22 pistols aren't my thing, and I fell in love with this thing, man.
Yeah, Caltech's got a few of them. I mean, they even the Chacho, their booth was really interesting. I mean, they keep coming out with this new shit. The only problem is they don't produce enough of it, and it's hard to find. And a lot of crap has problems in the beginning, but they do come up with some really neat stuff, though.
Yeah, Celtic is it's kind of a weird manufacturer. I mean, they do a lot of stuff that's a little different. But I've heard so many people talk about their Celtics, and especially the carbines. I've heard a lot of good things about those. So it's kind of cool that. So it was a 22. You said it was a 22. Is it a rifle or carbine? What was it?
22 mag WMR.
Okay, cool.
Now, Bearded CB just put out a comment. He said he's waiting for it to come out in 17 HMR. The 17 HMR is probably. I'd get 2 of them if they did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, you're never gonna get a 30 rounds of 17 HMR, and that shit is just inherently unreliable in the semi-auto. Even that 17 rifle that they made, who made it, Ruger or whoever made it, you gotta buy like a special ammo for it. It just it ain't gonna happen.
The 17
Grandpa made that shit. This fucker would have bought it already.
You would have bought it twice already.
Has the barrel magazine, and I can't get one round to feed through it. And the guy that I bought it from bought a spare magazine and sent it to me. Brand new magazine, will not feed one single round through it.
Yeah, I mean, I love 17 HMR. I have a bolt action one. It's a fun gun to shoot. You know, it's even good a good coyote gun, but it's you know, it's not really made for semi-auto.
Yeah, but it's a badass round. I love 17 HMR.
And the best thing is, you'll set up the 10 right with that thing.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
how
always
effective-
funner with Tannerite.
How effective can you be with a 17 HMR? Like, what's the range on that thing?
that's a good question. It's
I mean,
a
'cause
it's
I
a
know
really
it's a very high velocity round, but how much momentum does it lose once it's going further out? That's
yeah. I can't really see that thing being a whole lot of effective, you know, past 200-300 yards because it's just such a light bullet. It'll first of all the wind will throw it around, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I was looking at the drop of that, but I mean it's let's see, let's do a little Google search. Actually, you know what? No, let me see Strelok. Let's see what the Strelok says.
At my rifle range, the 25, the 50, and the 100, the 25 is real low. The 50 is about, shoulder height, and then the 100's like right about your chin. Then the 200 is another 100 yards away, so it's extended up pretty high. And with the 17, my friend's 17, not the one that I can't get around through, at 100, you can bullseye every single time, no problem. When you go to shoot for 200, you've got to aim like really weird because even if you aim right at the bullseye in the center of the target, like if it's hung in the center of the hanger or whatever you want to call it, you hang your targets on, you'll see the bullet zip straight underneath of it every time. And so once you get past 100 yards, if you don't have a real flat aim at your shot, I don't know. It's hard to get because it wants to fly so straight. If you aim hard,
The 17 HMR, 17 HMR being anywhere from 17 to 20 grain, you're looking at like 2,500 feet per second. So you're probably looking at anywhere between a zero hold at 125 to 150 yards at best.
Not
And then
even.
it's really going to drop on its ass after that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Strelok. As Strelok says, 100 at zero, you're already at only at 1900 feet per second. At 200, your drop is 3.7 MOA, so that's 7 inches. And the speed drops down to less than 1400. At 300, the drop is 10.8 MOA, so that's 33 inches. So really, I'd say 200 would be like a max. I would really use it at. After that, it just drops like a rock. At 300, it's less than half the speed. At 600, it's only 700 feet per second. At 800, you can probably catch it in the glove.
let's go try.
You wouldn't need a glove. You could bare hand that shit.
I don't have any gloves, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not taking that risk. Fuck that shit.
No, 100, 150, maybe 200, possibly. But out past that, I wouldn't give it a chance.
It's a pretty interesting round. I mean,
it's a pretty cool round, though. I mean,
yeah, it is. It is a really cool round.
Didn't they make the other 17, the one that's centerfire? That one's supposed to be a little more.
Yeah. But I noticed that with a 22, you can be pretty effective even at a long distance. I noticed that there's certain rifles that do a little bit better when it comes to long range on a 22 than others. I believe the Marlin was a Marlin 60 or something like that. I heard
Well,
the
Model 60s, the 22 long
yeah
rifle.
I heard the Marlin 60 is really accurate at long distances.
Yeah.
And same goes with the 22, the 1022. But I heard that it also depends if you have a bull barrel, it's actually more effective that way. I don't even know why that makes a difference, but you know.
The Marlin Model 60 it's definitely in the discussion for being the best rifle ever made. Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing that intrigues me about the Marlin 60s, I don't have to buy any magazines for the shit. You know, where in the 1022, I gotta buy the BX 25s, and if you don't have that, you gotta get the little small 10 round ones. And
Well, the Ruger 1022, I mean, there's guys that sell the base models of them just strictly for the receiver and the bolt. That's it. Just the receiver. And then there's such an aftermarket for the 1022.
Oh yeah,
you can
absolutely.
build a huge monster
there
out
definitely
of it.
is. There definitely is. I mean, but I don't know if it's as accurate as a Marlin 60 though, man. I think a Marlin 60 will put on his. I think it'll give a good run for his money. But
I have to answer Chris 338. Chris, it's Elishka. He knows. Read the comments. Carry on.
Yeah, I've had both. I don't have either of them now, but the Marlin 60 was definitely a favorite over the two. Now, have I wanted to go out and get a 1022 takedown and start doing stupid shit with it, with aftermarket parts and just like setting this thing up to be ridiculous? Yeah, kind of wanted to, just for shits and giggles. But the Marlin 60 straight out of the box, man.
It's a
I
badass
had
gun, man.
one of the stainless 60s and loved that little rifle.
Dude, I bought a Marlin 64 and I love that damn thing too. I mean, it's not as accurate, but it's pretty reliable. I think I've only had one bad feed on that rifle, and I really like it. The 1022 has always been really good, but I think what really intrigues me more about the Marlin 60 is that it has enough rounds for you to do what you need to do without having to go buy all this aftermarket crap or magazines and stuff like that. And I think that's something that kind of always intrigued me about that rifle.
I have two of them. One of them my dad bought for my brother when he was a teenager, and it was pre-ban or whatever you want to call it. So it's got the 18 round tube. And then I bought one from a friend of mine about 2 years ago, and it's only got the 14 round tube in it.
The 1022s, if you check out the guys that shoot like a steel challenge, holy mother of God, they put everything but the kitchen sink on the damn thing. I mean, it doesn't look like 1022.
But by the time they finished it, they spent over $1,000 on the rifle. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, they spend more than that.
Sometimes more than that. You're right. That's like, wow, you spend that much money for a 22 rifle? I'm like, I mean, if you're like a competitor shooter, I can see you doing that. But I mean, if you just Joe Blow, I'm like,
yeah, you're gonna start putting walk-walls and parts on it and whatnot. Then it just goes. But then it becomes, you're talking top of the line speed shooter.
Yeah, I was going to go out. I was actually going to meet Bearded CB at a shoot, and that wasn't happening. But I did meet a guy out there that had a 1022 that was what he called his race gun. I'm like, okay, whatever. And the thing was decked out red, white, and blue. This is what got me to talk to the guy to begin with, because I just don't normally walk up to people at a range. But this one I had to walk up and talk to the guy, and this thing was just like ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, it's a Ruger 1022. Well, it started life as a Ruger 1022. He's like, I've got like $1,400-$1,500 in it past that.
Yep.
Like, wow, really? He's like, yeah, go ahead, run it. And this thing had one of the best triggers in it I've ever felt in my life. It was like pushing and pulling a hair. Literally. It just
Don't they
just as
also have like
fast as you can.
ringfire challenge? Don't they have like ringfire challenge kind of a competitions too?
No, it's well, yeah, but Steel Challenge has a different category. So one of them is rimfire. You can shoot rimfire iron, rimfire open, or you can shoot a rimfire rifle. And then they have the rimfire competitions, like a long distance when you're shooting at these little animals at like 50 yards and whatnot. But usually in those, they don't let you really use like a race guns. They want you to use like iron sights and shit. No, 22s are fun. 10-22s are awesome. Even that little RPR in 22, I was contemplating getting one of those, but I just don't shoot a whole lot of rifle. For me, it's a pain in the ass to go to the range where to my club because they don't want us to use a steel. You got to set up a paper, so it's a 40-minute prep before you can actually fire a shot. Then you got to go collect everything, and you got to see if you hit it or not. I'm like, I'm battling the club to let us use a steel. If I go shoot pistols, I just go literally 2 minutes from my house, unpack and start blasting.
Can you shoot on any of your property, or that's not allowed in the area where you live at?
Well, I can, whatever I shoot my pistols, I can shoot rifle, but again, I can only go up to like 200 yards, and really 200 yards, once you have everything set up, it gets boring. So if you want to do a little long range, you really want to go 6, 7, and past that, and I can go to my neighbor's other property. I can probably squeeze 1,000 yards over there, but it's a private place. So again, I have to go. I have to set it up. Usually have to bring somebody with me, make sure somebody doesn't run across, and so it gets like I'd say more than inconvenient. Like I'm jealous, like Rake or X-Ring, they got those ranges where they can use the steel, even if it's only a 600-700 yards. But you can challenge yourself with a 1 MOA piece of steel. So then it gets funny. Or shoot a rimfire and just have a small target and go 100, 200 yards and go with a sub MOA target if you feel like it. And when it comes to rifles, it doesn't matter. Once you kind of drink a Kool-Aid and you go down the rabbit hole, and it goes with all the guns. That's why I love.
Yeah.
That's why I love Carry Optics, because Carry Optics, you buy something like X5 Legion, slap an optic on it, you're done. You don't have to do a damn thing to the goddamn. Yes, you can upgrade the trigger, to have a little bit, but you can buy an $80 Armory Craft trigger, and that's about the only upgrade I would recommend to that gun. Other than that, it doesn't need a damn thing, just lots of ammo and battery for the red dot.
Do the 3-gun or long gun competitions have different prizes or better prizes than, say, pistol, or is it? I don't know how the prize system works out. Do you just get a pat on the back? Do you get a trophy, a check, or how's that work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the pistol competitions are probably the dumbest ones because you don't win shit. You win bragging rights. Once in a blue moon, some competitions you might win a few bucks and whatnot, but most of the pistol competitions you don't get shit. The 3-gun competition, that's probably the best because they always have a big prize table, so you can actually win cool shit. And like a big sniper style matches, long range, you're talking serious money that you can win. You can literally make a living doing that. So pistols are, like I said, the USPSA is most popular, but it's like a dumbest sport ever because you sink thousands of dollars into it, travel costs, this and that, and if you do win, all you get is a bragging rights, and you get a plaque that's cost like $2 and made in China most likely.
But then bragging rights, I tell you, That's worth a lot right there.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like it's same like when you get into hard rods or drag racing or something. It's there's more love than money in it. I mean, you keep
So
sinking money into it.
I got a question for you, professional amateur. How did you get started? I mean, did you start through IPA first and then work your way up, or?
Yeah, I started shooting IDPA because that's what they shoot at the local club. So we shot IDPA mostly.
Mhm.
Once you get more gooder, you want to go faster.
More gooder, yes.
Then you find out the IDPA becomes a little boring because it's not as many rounds, So you just want to go faster. So USPSA is a little more fun. Ghost Ethical says IDPA around here is a great giveaway raffle. Well, we have that too, but it's like if you go to a major match, you usually get a goodie bag. You get a couple of things in there, and they'll have two guns that they raffle off. But if you win the match, you're not winning anything. Like they could at least put like instead of just giving the shit away, random raffle, have like a prizes.
So I mean, do they have like different levels? Do they have like novice and then intermediate?
Everywhere you go, it doesn't matter if it's IDPA, it doesn't matter if it's USPSA. You basically gonna be competing against people that have your own skill.
So when you get to a certain level, do you start having like a ranking system, or how does that work?
There's a ranking system from the day one. IDPA has a classifier, so you basically there's a certain stage that you shoot, and they classify you based on your time and your score. Okay, and then if you go shoot like a level 3 match or better, and let's say you start and you're a novice, okay, you really suck, so you're the lowest one, you're a novice, and you go to a match and you shoot as a novice, so you're shooting against other guys that have the same classification. Let's say you win your category, what they're gonna do, they automatically gonna bump you to one level up because you won a major match. In USPSA, it's different. USPSA, they have a bunch of classifiers, and usually every competition you shoot has at least one classifier in it. Once you have 4 classifiers, they average the 4, and they give you your classification. And then as you keep shooting competitions, they keep adding the classifiers. They always throw out the worst one and replace it with a better one. So eventually, you work your way up.
So if you started IDPA and then you worked yourself up to the other, what was the other one called?
Yeah, but that's 2 different sports. One has nothing to do with the other.
So you can't pass your qualification from one to the other.
No.
So you have to start all over again.
Yeah, it's a different organization you have to register with.
Now, is most of the stuff mostly like a local ranking, or this is not like a national ranking that you get, correct?
No, it's a national ranking. Yeah, it is. Like your ranking comes. Well, that's why the IDPA is a little biased, because it depends on the matches that you shoot around. If you don't have a whole lot of competition, like for example, I won New York State as an expert like 4 years ago, and I still didn't get a match bump because I had no competition. I had everything. I didn't have enough experts and masters that I beat to get my match bump. If you go down south, where usually they have better shooters because they shoot all year round, you got a little more competition. And USP is different because you get classified based on your performance on the classifier, and it gets updated all the time.
So how do you stay how do you stay at a certain level when, like, for example, you live in New York where you have like 4 months where you pretty much get a lot of snow? So how do you kind of like, I mean, is there any competitions during that time in the wintertime?
Well, there is an indoor range that does competitions. I don't know how it's going to work out now with the COVID and bullshit, because they've been closed. And depending on the winter, I just go shoot at my range. And if there's nothing else, just dry fire and cool fire.
Okay. That's kind of weird, but yeah, I can see why.
Well, they did have I never shot it. My buddy did, but we shot a Pennsylvania State match there last year. They had a nice. They used to have a nice competition in the middle of the winter, IDPA competition. They call it Arctic Blast.
So, in most cases, like, what's the typical entry fee to get into a match? Like, let's say IDPA.
Regular local matches, let's say something that you drive within 2 hours to that level, like level 1 or whatever the hell they call it, they're going to be anywhere from $20 to $30.
Oh, so it's pretty affordable.
Oh yeah. Now, if you go to big matches, like for example, the Long Island Championship we shot a couple of weeks ago, that was I think $75. Now, if you get to like area matches that we shot in West Virginia, I think that was like $200.
Okay.
So the higher you go, the more money you spend.
Okay.
Yeah, usually local matches that's where you start. You go on the practicescore.com, you look for a IDPA, USPSA 3-gun matches. That's your best bet to find something and start from there. And once you kind of get in and start shooting, you meet people, because if you go once, twice, 3 times, then you're gonna see the similar faces, and they're gonna tell you, oh, you know what, there's a good match over there, there's a good match over there, and then you start going all over the place. Like I'm in a pretty good area because I can go 2 hours west, 2 hours east, 2 hours north, 2 hours south, and there's matches all the way around. Yeah, there you go. Gross Tactical. It says $20 for local matches. State is $100. Nationals around $200. Usually, when you have like a bigger match, you also get like a prize pack. You know, you got a chance to get something. Like there was a guy today that we shot a match, and he was offering me a grip for 2011, nice aluminum grip that he won. That was in his prize bag at I don't know, some area match that he shot. So sometimes you get lucky, you know, you may win gun, you know, but those you don't win it because of your performance. You win it purely on the luck. It's basically raffle.
Oh, okay.
But if nothing else, at least you get a cool shirt.
Right. Nationals is $285 for US PSA. Wow. Where's the Nationals? Is that where that's like back east, isn't it?
No, it's down south, Frostproof, Florida.
Oh, in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, they have a production nationals. They have a bunch of different nationals. Now, just because it's called nationals, it doesn't mean that if you place good in the nationals that you're a freaking national champion. Because again, it boils down to who's gonna go down there and who's gonna shoot. Now, when you're talking to pros, you know, like Max Michel, Casey Eusebio, you know, JJ Racaza, those guys shoot all those matches. You know, they don't really pay for their own fees and all the stuff. You know, but when you get to regular Joe Blows like me and you know, not everybody can spend. Especially now they fucked up. They did the nationals and they did it like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or some shit like that. So it's so, you know, pretty much I'm gonna lose the whole week, and I'm not flying, so I would have to drive, trying to convince a buddy of mine to go with me.
Right.
And so, now with the COVID, I got a quarantine and all that crap, so screw that.
So you shoot 3-gun, correct?
You know, I shoot very little 3-gun because the place, the club that I shoot is 3-gun's kind of lame, and usually it's on the same day. We got decent USPSA match in Pennsylvania, so I usually go and shoot that instead. And I just found a nice club in Massachusetts that does a lot of 3-gun, so maybe next season, because this year is different.
So you mostly shoot pistol. Is that kind of like the same thing the Pops Quest does, just pistol?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the actual I mean, like, what is considered a gun that it's acceptable to shoot in one of these matches? Is there like a certain criteria that you have to have?
Well, now we're talking divisions, okay?
Okay.
Before you talk classifications, so now we're talking divisions, depending on what gun you shoot, okay? USPSA, you basically have a production. That's your Shadows 2, Glock 34s, and all basic guns, okay? Mm-hmm. Then you got carry optics, which is basically it's got to be on a production list, and you can slap an optic on it, and you limit it to a length of magazine. Then you can
What do
shoot
you mean by a production list?
They have a list. In order for you to shoot production, the gun that you're using, it has to be on the production list.
Okay.
Okay. In other words, for example, that new alien gun, the Lago Arms is making that's supposed to come to the States finally. You can't shoot it in a carry optics because it's not on the production list, and they have a certain criteria how to get the gun on the production list. It's gotta be. They gotta have like 2,000 or whatever produced and blah blah. It's just it's gotta be on the list. So then you have after that you can shoot a single stack, which is basically a 1911s. Then you go to limited and you open. And limited you can also have a limited 10, which is for guys like you and me that are limited to 10 rounds. And then you have your revolver divisions. And of course PCC, pistol carabin, the new shit. So now when you get to the open division, you can do pretty much whatever the fuck you want. You can have any gun, any optic. I think you're limited to magazine. It's 140 millimeter max, but that's where the big bucks are.
So when I'm looking at a range, and I'm asking all these questions because I don't know, so don't insult my intelligence because I don't know shit. But when I'm looking at the range, I see cardboard color targets and I see white ones. So which ones are the ones that you actually score on? Is it
Take a wild fucking guess. Take a wild fucking guess. USPSA and IDPA is the most racist sport in the world because we shoot the fucking brown targets and the white.
So you shoot the fucking brown targets and you keep the white ones. Ain't that a bitch?
Exactly.
Well, I feel offended. My God.
Yeah, well, take it up to somebody else.
Hey man, you gotta at least make this shit look cool, like maybe like this and shit or something, man.
Nah, then what they do in IDPA, they don't use the white targets. They use the brown, but they draw hands on it like this. So that's a no shoot. So basically, if it's brown, you put a hole in it.
So, is there like a certain point whether you shoot in the actual chest area or the head area, or is there? It doesn't matter where you hit it as long as you hit it.
Oh man, give me a second. Let me go get a target. I'll explain it to you.
He's gonna go get a target, guys, because I'm trying to get educated on the shit.
Well, and Ghost Tactical is out there. I did not know that that's how his channel actually started, was with competition shooting. That Ghost was a competition shooter for a while. I knew he was a Marine Corps, had his fair share of crayons, but I did not know that he was a competition shooter.
Fucked up, bro. Come on, man. Leave the poor Marines alone. They make great commercials, though.
They make great commercials. Great commercials.
Dude, my favorite commercial of the Marines, and I love them to death. I really do. But it is the most bullshit fucking commercial I've ever seen. You remember that old fucking commercial from the 90s where this motherfucker's like climbing some big ass rock and shit? And then he gets up to the top of the rock and there's a fucking sword and he picks it up and all of a sudden he becomes a Marine or something. I'm like, get the fuck out. No, he fights a dragon and shit. And then all of a sudden he holds the sword like this and becomes a Marine. I'm like, where the fuck did y'all come up with this bullshit? Like,
wait a minute, that wasn't what boot camp was really like?
Huh?
That's not what boot camp was really like?
No, bro.
Right.
No, they yell at you a lot.
No, not when you're in the Army. Boot camp sucks. When you're a Marine, boot camp ain't all that bad. Apparently, all you have to do is climb a big giant rock and pull a sword.
See, the Army's a little more fucked up, and this is where I think the Marine Corps is a lot better. The Marine Corps only has 2 places where they do basic training, and pretty soon they're only going to have 1 because they're trying to make changes. And they solely focused on basic fucking fundamentals and shit, right? And I really feel that the Marine Corps does it a little bit better with the way they do it. Now, if you're in combat arms in the Army, that's where you go to what you consider the the really tough fucking places where you do a lot of the basic training, which is Fort Benning, Fort Knox, Fort Sill, and I think that's it. Those are like the three top fucking hardcore ones, and then the other ones, and then everybody else that's not fucking combat arms goes to Fort Jackson, which is we call it relaxing Jackson for a reason. But no, it's interesting. But you know what I really find weird is that the Navy goes to this place called Grand Lakes, and I'm like, aren't you motherfuckers supposed to be at sea? I don't understand that shit, but you know, that's the Navy for you.
It has something to do with water, I guess. So,
Man.
Val, you gonna educate us on the targeting systems for IDPA?
I'll probably fuck it up, but I don't have the IDPA target, but it's the same. It's the same size IDPA target, right? But it has, instead of all these lines, like especially the square line in the middle, it has a 8-inch circle in the middle, and then a 6-inch circle in the head. That's called down 0. Then outside over here is called down 1, and this is called down 3. And IDPA has got a super easy scoring system. Basically, you shoot the course of fire, your time is 25 seconds. Every down is a 1 second they add to your time. So if you shoot down 0, nothing. If you shoot down 1, they add a second. If you shoot down 3, they add 3 seconds. If you miss target completely, they add a 5 seconds. If you hit no shoot, they add a 5 seconds to your time as well. So at the end,
5 seconds? Ooh, shit.
So end of the shooting, it's easy. Your time is your score. Now, USPSA, that's a USPSA target. You got the square zone over here, that's an A zone. The cold bottle over here, that's a C zone. Then you have a little square up here, that's an A zone, and everything else is a D zone. And now it goes by the points. The A zone's 5 points. The C zone, depending on a division, I think it's 2 points if you minor, and 3 points if you major scoring, and then 1 point in a D zone. And if you miss, then you minus 5 points. Then you get bonus points if you hit a no shoot. And then it all gets divided by time, and it's so freaking complicated that nobody can do it in a head. That's why we go around with those stupid tablets and yell 2 alpha, 2 alpha, put all that shit right in the little computer, and that gives you at the end of the day, it gives you your hit factor. Basically, hit factor is the deciding factor on a stage. Now, they sometimes mix up these targets. These are metric targets. That's what they use in Europe. So you got A zone is right here, around here. This is the C zone, and the rest is D zone. Just for a comparison. You see, it's a little smaller.
That's more gooder. I like that explanation. Thank you
The
very
A
much.
zone a lot bigger. Okay, so that's quick and dirty in a nutshell.
That's more gooder. Thank you.
So that's why IDPA is more.
I kind of don't like that you guys shoot the brown targets. That's bullshit, y'all. Just saying.
Well, they're not brown.
That shit is brown. What the fuck? Look at me and look at that shit. That's brown, bro. Come on now. Just saying. Put some equality in this shit. Just saying. Anyways.
That's okay. I mean, most people have a natural reaction to point and pull a trigger at brown anyway.
That is true. So everybody thinks we're all cholos and shit. Oh, man.
Target should be green or purple.
Yeah.
Or yellow. Yeah, then you have a steel, and steel is usually white.
Yeah, then you're gonna have Asians being pissed. Like, why you gotta be yellow? Yeah. No, but good stuff, man. I appreciate the information. That sounds cool. And
well, generally, if you're getting into shooting, the IDPA is gonna be a lot easier for you, because if you carry a gun, you have all the equipment you need, because you have the holster, you have the gun, and you have at least one spare magazine. And only other thing you need a concealment. So you need something, anything, shirt, something that covers your gun. So when you spread your hands like this, your gun is still covered. You can literally go shoot a match with your carry gear, which I've seen it done. Hell, I did it myself. Then if you want to go get a little more competitive, then you get a little better holsters, a little better mag pouches. But end of the day, every stage is designed for a maximum of 18 shots. I think in USPSA the maximum round counts 34. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 34.
This is the kind of ignorance I have to fucking deal with. Fucking G23 over here talking about, didn't you learn how to shoot like this in Compton? No, motherfucker. All right. I was in South Central. Okay. Get it right. All right. And what was really fucked up? Here I am in fucking basic training, qualifying with my M9. And my fucking drill sergeant comes back and he goes, hey, you're not back in the hood. Let me putting that shit to the side or whatever. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I missed it by one. I was pissed because he fucked up my concentration, man. And it's because of this kind of ignorance I have to deal with. God, I'm just saying.
No. That was done on purpose. That was totally done on purpose. I will
trying to put down the brand, man. That's what I'm saying, man.
I've been working with a gal teaching her how to shoot pistol, and I'll give her instruction on what kind of drill I want her to do and tell her to go, and then I'll say something that's just completely out of left field just to distract her. I'm like, you're shooting. Do not let other things distract you. You can't. You pay attention to what you're doing, how you're doing it. Don't let other things distract you.
You're not letting her shoot with that fucking LCR, are you? Or LCP?
No.
Oh, okay.
She actually carries a 365.
Oh, wow. That's a nice gun.
It's a smart choice.
Yeah, that is. That's more gooder. Yes.
Even for her, she thinks it's a bit small. She is definitely preferring the feel of her husband's 320.
Yeah. Well, one thing
she doesn't like the larger magazine in it. Yeah. Putting in the 12 round compared to the 15 round into her 365, she don't like the feel of the larger magazine in it.
Well, I think sometimes we have a tendency of underestimating women, because I've noticed some women that would prefer like a 357 or a 45 over a 9mm or a 380, and I think that's the reason why it's always good to have them shoot different guns in order for them to get a feel for what works best for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And before she actually purchased it, I told her, I said, almost everybody's going to tell a female, oh, here's the tiniest gun you can possibly buy this one. And I'm like, don't do that. Just don't. I'll take you out, let you shoot a number of different semi-sized handguns, a compact, a semi-compact, a full size, give you a decent idea of what you actually like. And she got this deal from a good friend of hers for a 365 and jumped on it. And actually, because I was telling her, I said, smaller guns are harder to hit with. They're just harder to shoot. They're harder to shoot all the way around. And so, I live in my yoga pants and I need something small to hide. And I'm like, this is part of the downfalls of how women dress.
Yeah, 365 doesn't shoot like a small gun. And if she finds it too small because of and she doesn't like the extended mag, then tell her get a 365 XL grip module and the new magazines. Now, she doesn't even need the new magazines, because if she has a 12-round magazines for the 365, all you have to do is change the base pad, and it'll work. It'll work with the 365 XL, and she's gonna love it. I think the XL grip frame is just the right size. It's literally only about 1/4 inch bigger than 365 with that little pinky extension magazine, the 10 round magazine, and you get a full grip on it. You get a basically 12 rounds, and she doesn't have to get a whole new gun. All she has to do is buy a grip module. It's a literally 2-minute job. There's one pin you got to drive out and swap the firing control group and keep the same slide and everything else, and you're done. And she's gonna love it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about pushing her in that direction too. So she's been doing great with it. She's been doing great with it. But that was, you can't let somebody just completely distract you and throw you off your game when you're shooting.
It's easy to do. You get a tunnel vision.
The slide length doesn't make a difference on when you go to put the 365 the XL slide.
It'll
isn't longer.
Everything will fit just fine. Everything will be fine.
You know what's kind of odd about all this? He didn't mention Grand Power the whole time.
Well, Grand Power doesn't really see. The Grand Power has a P11. That's what I would consider a carry size gun, because everything else is like a G19 or G17 size. So P11 would be nice, but you're down to 12 rounds and it's basically double stack, so it's it'll be a little bulkier. The 365, SIG just knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. Grand Power makes a great guns. If you kind of guy that likes to carry like a Glock 19 or Glock 17, then yeah, absolutely, that'll work. But for me, the 365 series and especially 365 XL, the ability to put an optic on it, since that's all I do right now, I just shoot optics. So I have an optic on my carry gun, and if I don't carry the 365 XL, I carry the SAS. And SAS got that Metrolite sight, so it's basically just like a optic again. All I have is a green dot, and I just love it.
So you're liking those Meprolite sights also, right?
I for what it's meant to be, I like it because there's no snags, no nothing. That gun sits in that Borai holster, pocket holster, and that's like in a truck. And I just run to the store, I throw it in the pocket, and go.
So it's nothing like walking around with a 10 millimeter.
Yeah. You better have a good belt.
Oh man, how do you like that? You been shooting that thing at all lately, Alan?
Yeah. Okay, so the biggest complaint that I have about this thing is that it makes it really, really difficult to retrieve my brass.
Because it fucking flies them out.
It freaking launches them like they're trying to get to the moon.
But can you just
I shit you not, that thing will launch brass 15, 20 yards.
Well, how about just changing the extractor pin? I mean, spring, sorry.
That I haven't even thought about doing yet. I haven't even thought about doing anything with it yet. I've tore that thing down twice. I've tore it down twice to clean it. But other than that, I mean, you can see where it deflects off the slide coming out of there. Mm-hmm. The brass literally deflects right off the slide coming out of there. It chucks it. Other than that, I love that damn thing. Absolutely love it. It makes it hard for me to retrieve my brass, but other than that, it's a great shooter. Especially for the price of it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like the price is so on the low end for a 1911.
It's a very underrated gun, and I think a lot of people just make a big deal because it's made in the Philippines. But if you really stop and think about it, Filipinos are some badass fucking machinists, man. These guys make 1911s by hand. There's like a documentary I watched about that crap. Freaking Filipinos make these black market freaking 1911s, and I mean, they are meticulously at them to the point that when you look at it, you're like, damn, that looks like one of these custom, 1911s that you see out there, you know. And in most cases, you know, it's like I think they selling like $200, and I'm like, wow, $200 for a 1911, like that's crazy. Because you know, Filipino money compared to American money, it's like it's a big difference, you know. So yeah, I think Rock Island, you know, I mean, for the longest, I think they were just making a lot of junk, and then they started little by little started noticing that you know what, we continue to produce junk, nobody's going to buy our crap. So you got to come up with something a little bit better, and it seems to me like it's gotten a lot better, and a lot of people are starting to enjoy buying a Rock Island. So that's kind of good. And I really like the fact that they don't have these big ass fucking rock island all over the slide like they used to back in the day. Like that shit looks so tacky. Like nobody's gonna buy a gun like that.
No. I mean, this thing, at best, you got the emblem right back
Yeah,
there.
and that's fine. You
But
know,
but
if you recall,
it's not. It's subtle, and you
yeah,
can't. You wouldn't be able to tell that this was a Rock
right.
Island. Other
But if
than
you
that,
but if you
um,
you seen the videos of previous rock islands, like they used to put that big ass rock island all across the slide. I'm like, nobody wants to see that shit,
yeah,
man.
it was like stamped all the
Yeah.
way down the side of it. Yeah, it might as well have been considered stippling.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been a great pistol.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many rounds I've got through it now, but the Dylan Square Deal B puts it to work.
That's good. That's good that you have that machine because I heard a lot of good things about that machine. Now, how do you like the ammo coming out of there? Do you feel like it's better than when your previous press? Did you had a press before that you made 10 millimeter from, or is it you
not
only?
not 10, not 10. I wasn't rolling 10 until I got the Square Deal B. So the only reloading I've done for 10 a bit has been on that press.
Oh, okay.
Um, as for how it compares to factory loads, nobody's going to know any difference at all.
Yeah,
Any difference at all. And in
but if
all
you know,
actuality, I did compare. I did do some testing with a couple of my friends,
Mhm.
and my loads, they said, felt just a little bit smoother, and but they didn't know which loads were which. I was just like, here, try these rounds. Now try these rounds. What do you feel? Is there any difference there? Um, and they're like, yeah, those other rounds just feel like they're a little bit smoother. And I don't know, because I don't have
nothing else to compare it to.
I don't really have anything else to really compare it to.
It's not the press. Press is irrelevant. Okay, what makes your ammo is the components and the dies. And Dylan has a quality dice, although the Square Deal B has a proprietary dice, so you have to use the dice just for that one press. Pretty much all the other press Dylan makes, you can use virtually any manufacturer. I mean, Dylan's a preferred because of all the measurements and whatnot, but you can use just about anybody's. And like I said, the Square Deal is awesome for the pistol. If you're gonna load just the pistol, you can't go wrong with the Square Deal. It'll load all the crap that you need. It's handy. It doesn't take so much footprint. Yes, it lacks a case feeder, but it's just handy little thing. And if you've got the right components, you're gonna load just as good, maybe better, not maybe, probably better ammo than a factory.
So
Yeah, I
I
still
mean,
don't have a chronograph, so I honestly don't know what my loads are doing in comparison to like factory loads. Um, but to me they feel like they're right there on par with factory loads.
Yeah, usually you can tell just by shooting it, and you can go to Midway USA and buy a $35 chrono. It'll work just fine. The old style optical chrono, I still use it, and it's fine. You buy the Crony on sale. I think I paid $35 for mine.
Yeah, just don't shoot it like Chico did. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, Chrono really, it's really important when you get into actual competition and all that. So then you need your data, you need your speed and whatnot. But if you're just making a plinking ammo and you follow the manual and you just go by the feel, you'll be fine. I went years without the Chrono.
So I got a question on the whole chrono thing. So how many rounds do you have to shoot in order for you to get an average speed?
At the competition, I think if they shoot 3 rounds and they are above or what they're supposed to be, then you're done. And if not, then they go to 5 and they overage it. And most of the competition, you give them 7 rounds. You know. But
Also,
a lot of times, if they shoot 3 rounds, they shoot 3 rounds, and let's say you're supposed to be, let's say your minimum velocity is supposed to be 920, and he's gonna shoot 3 rounds, and all 3 rounds are 950. He's just gonna unload it, call it good, and you're good to go. You know, usually go 5 if you're like right there, 920, 919, 921. So that's when they're gonna shoot 5.
So they actually test your rounds before you go in there, huh? I didn't know that.
Well, not before. It's usually one of the stages. Yeah, they
So
want to make sure you know.
So while you're shooting, they're actually testing your loads.
No. You go from stage to stage. At a certain point, you're gonna go from that stage to chrono stage, and they usually collect your ammo before. So they might even come randomly to you and take seven rounds out of your magazine. Yeah, I even heard about that happening. And then you go to the chrono, they call you by the name, and you got your little baggie there with your name on it and number and all that, and there's your bullets. They're gonna take one bullet apart. They're gonna weigh the actual projectile if it's what you say it is, and then they're gonna shoot the rounds, get the velocity, and figure out the power factor.
So that's why many competition shooters actually buy like legit like manufactured bullets, correct? Like a Barnes or whatever the hell it is, right? Just so that way they can say, well, these are factory ammunition, so that way it's within their specs, right? I mean, nobody goes over there with freaking cast bullets or nothing like that, right?
Well, no, we go and shoot with the coated bullets on the major matches, no problem. You know, a lot of the competitors will be reloaders, just like me. I mean, yes, there are gonna be people that are just gonna go with the factory ammo, you know.
No, but I'm saying like a lot of people buy just the bullets itself and reload those. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you can go and cast your own and do it, but once you get to that point and shooting that much, you just you don't have the time to be casting and doing all that.
Don't. Yeah,
casting 50,000 rounds a year might be a little bit time consuming.
Even 10,000 a year is gonna be time consuming because you gotta cast it, size it, coat it, and then you still gotta load that shit. So it's just if you go like I love the Galan bullets. I'm really happy with them. Yes, they do smell a little more than blue bullets, but not as much as Acme, and you don't get the blue fingers, so I'm happy with them. And they sent me a T-shirt and a hat too.
Wow, you're special.
Well, when I called him and placed the order, and I dropped my channel name, he goes, "Yeah, I actually saw your video." He goes, "You know what? We'll send you a shirt and a hat." Okay. And then it took him forever to send the bullets, but they were good. They talked to me. I know they were behind. All the bullshit was going on. So I called them up. I'm like, "Look, just send me one box. Send me something because I got no freaking bullets and I got all these competitions coming." So literally within a couple of days, they sent me a box. And then week after week, finally, the rest of the order showed up. So far, I'm really happy with them.
So the moral of the story is, as long as you get some swag, everything else is fine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm like a whore. Give me something. I'm spending money. I want some shit in return.
A free hat goes a long way with customer service.
I told my lumber guys same thing. I was like, "What the hell? I just spent $50,000 with you, and I gotta go buy a fucking carpenter pencils. What the hell kind of shit is that?" I say, "Your next delivery better have hats, shirts, sweatshirts, and a bunch of goddamn pencils."
We were joking around. We order a lot of stuff from Sherwin-Williams. There's one like 5 minutes walking from my house, and they have these things called blue bucket sales, where you go in and you grab like a 5-gallon bucket, and there's a blue, whatever you can fit in it, you get like 20% off or whatever. And I was joking around when we were picking up a stock order one day, and I was like, "Man, we buy off a lot of blue bucket stuff, and we got 0 blue buckets." The next time we ordered, the guy had like 15 blue buckets stacked there. So now we got more blue buckets than we can do anything with.
No,
Yeah,
I'm-
they started doing this funky thing with the volumetric concrete mixer trucks that I manufacture. Now, whenever you buy a truck, they're going to send you a hat, they're going to send you a vest, they're going to send you a pair of safety glasses, a pen, some hearing ear, some earbuds, a thumb drive that looks like a miniature volumetrics concrete truck. Yeah, all in a fancy dancy custom made bag. I think it's mildly amusing. But I guess if you spend over $300,000 on a truck and that's the kind of thing that makes you happy, more power to you.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to spend $300,000 on a truck, I sure as hell want $7 worth of junk.
I spent 75 grand on excavator, didn't get nothing. Even had to pay for the delivery. But then again, they gave me 3 months no payments and a fucking 5 years no interest.
Should have bought it from Alan.
Yeah, you could have got a hat and a safety vest. Then again, there's those more frugal business owners that just hold to the old true. You buy my cabinets, I'll send you a bill.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget they'll send you that little wax crayon that's supposed to match, but it never does.
It's always like 3 shades off.
Nah, you just need to know how to do that shit. That shit works, actually. If you do it right, it works.
You notice how he's not actually volunteering up that information. That's like
Yeah,
trade secret right there.
he was quick to go around and grab his targets, but I don't see him grabbing a wax pencil.
Yeah, I don't have one. My kitchen cabinets are stained, so it's different color. But I did some repairs, some holes that my guy fucked up, drilled a hole on the wrong side of the door, and I managed to repair it that owner never found out. At least she didn't call me, and it's been 5 years. So,
But you know, one thing I've noticed about cabinets, guys, is that those cuts have to be precise. If not, that shit looks like ate the fuck up. It'll look like
No, what they end up doing is they end up looking like the cabinets in Val's garage.
listen, cabinets in Val's garage are made out of scrap, and they're perfectly fine for what they're supposed to be. It's supposed to hold the tools and shit. And then the other side, that's the cabinets from the remodeling project I did.
so either
They didn't hold the tools and shit. They collapsed under all the weight of your freaking reloaded ammo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there wasn't
he was
cabinet.
testing the weight, fuckers. Calm down.
There wasn't my cabinet though. You know when and you know what? I kind of screwed it together, and then it looks even worse because I never squared the cabinet. I was like, what the hell? Just at least now it's gonna hold more ammo.
That's more gooder. Yes.
Yeah, because the cabinets I built for my garage, they all the way up to the ceiling, and they hold just fine. All the shit I put in it, but those are made out of plywood, not out of particle board.
I got a question for you, Professor Amateur. When you showed me your plethora of fucking primers, as you know, I'm still learning how to reload and all kinds of shit, right? Kind of new in the game, I know that I mean, I'm definitely going to learn after this incident to make sure I buy in bulk when it comes to primers. But when you bought all those primers, did you buy them from your local company, or did you actually had them had them mailed to your house?
We got them shipped. We got them shipped. We looked for the best deal. We found a guy online that has an awesome deal on it, and we just went and bought 50,000 of them. And we split them with a buddy of mine, and a year later he got out of the reloading, and he still had a plenty of them left. So I bought all his stash. Not
So
only
when you-
that, I bought all his stash, and he gave it to me at a discounted price.
Wow, man, you got a good deal then, buddy.
Well,
So when we're talking like a big freaking box or case of freaking primers, what are we talking a box?
Well, when we bought them, I think it came up about $24 a thousand, and that was including shipping, hazmat, everything.
Really?
Yeah, but no, it's been
That's really that's better than buying it at the store, actually, for me. Because I pay what fucking 29.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. What you do, you find somebody else or get a couple of guys. This way, you split the hazmat, because the hazmat fee is gonna be just one fee, regardless how many primers you're gonna get.
Right.
Now, shipping
Yeah.
might be a little higher, but no,
I think maybe me and Pat should do some shit like that, because he's the closest one I got to me. Pat lives like an hour and a half from me. That's the closest guy I got. And I know he reloads a lot, but most of the stuff that he does is like large pistol or some shit.
Then again, the primers I bought a few months ago at a local store. I just stumbled and went in, and I saw he had a Winchester, he had some CCIs, he had match primers and whatnot. I pretty much bought every single box he had, but those were like $50 a box, 50, 51. So I took everything, because right now they're going for ridiculous money. So I walked up with the 12,000 primers. The guy took a couple of bucks off, since I'm buying so much crap. And everybody else that came into the store after me was probably pissed, because they didn't see any primers anymore.
Fuck them. To a certain point, but you stop and think about it. To this day, you still got primers, and that's the most important thing.
Yep.
That's the most important thing. Yeah, but in reality, if everybody else would have been fucking smart about this shit, then they would have been fine. Because I started thinking about it. I'm like, when you showed me all those boxes, I was like, you know what? That's the way I need to go, man. Because, the way things are in my state, pretty soon they're going to come up with some fucking law where they're going to outlaw that shit. And I'm like, I better have enough.
Well, that's the whole point. You can always cast bullets if you have to. You always find brass. But
well, yeah, but the only thing is primers. Primers
and powder. Things you need.
Yeah, I've heard Pops say primers are king, and primers are absolutely king. He threw out there Graff and Sons or Powder Valley and Graff and Sons. You pop over there and look for primers. I'm not seeing anything at all in stock for small pistol primers. That's
my
problem is finding it in stock.
Because I know after the election things will get better.
Yeah, that goes right there. That goes right there with the ammo. You can't find ammo. You're not gonna find primers, okay? Because right now they're not gonna be selling primers, because the primers go all to ammo manufacturers. So whatever's left over, they're gonna sell to us. So until you're gonna see ammo, you're not gonna see any primers. And it's even Area 8 match. Last year we went there, and there was a guy with a freaking trailer selling reloading presses, selling powder, selling freaking primers and whatnot. This year, nothing. You just can't get them. The little bit that was there, people bought up right away. So yeah, if you didn't stock up, you're lost.
I think I'll be okay until this whole thing passes over. But it's always something that kind of thinking about it, because now I regret not buying all the primers that I did. I bought enough, but at the same time, it's like, now you can't find anything, and if they do, they want to restrict you.
Primers and powder will last you forever if it's stored properly. As long as
and that was another thing that I did not know, is I didn't know what the life expectancy of the stuff was. So that's why I didn't buy a lot.
Yeah, but mine just sit in the garage. It's not like it gets humid in the summer, cold in the winter. But as long as everything is closed, you're good to go.
Yeah. No, and like I tell you, I learned this after the fact. But yeah. And you're right. I do like federal primers a lot too. They're pops. They're pretty good. I like them. So yeah, no, it's always interesting, this whole dilemma that we're into right now with the ammo. And you figure people would have learned this shit since fucking Sandy Hook, but unfortunately, it seems to me like we're creatures of the making the same mistakes and shit. Just kind of weird. Yeah, you're right. You're right, pops. Definitely buy like a lot, and then you'd be good to go. And that's definitely the way I'm gonna go about it this time, because I don't want to be to the point that maybe I won't shoot because I don't have enough primers. I mean, I'm okay right now, but I'm saying I don't ever gonna want to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And I know that there's a lot of reloaders that are probably in that same scenario. So I mean, it's good stuff to know. I always like to learn how people get the things that they get, because sometimes they were telling me that sometimes if you can cut a deal with your local gun store and then they'll order it for you where you're not paying the hazmat fee, then sometimes it's a good way. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, if you can get it through a local store, or even if you pay a couple of bucks more, it's worth it because you're supporting local store. And a lot of times you can pay cash, whatever. So your better health doesn't know where you spend the money. So
Exactly.
Absolutely. But 9 out of 10 times, this online places will blow everybody away because that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
The Power Valley, Graphsons, Natchez, Mid-South Reloading Supply, and whatnot. I mean, there's a ton of reloading places, but right now nobody has a fucking thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we're pretty much at that mark, gents. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up, go through the room here. Kingpin, would like to got anything coming up upon your crown, sir? Kingpin? Maybe not. All right.
Oh, it's too far away from your mute button. What'd you say?
Just wrapping up. Just wondering if you had anything coming up upon your crown.
No, just everybody have a good night. And if you want to go check out Rich White, he's live right now. So definitely go check that out. And thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Here's a stupid video.
That's the best. Your Uncle Jim impersonation is spot on.
Hello, it's Uncle Jim. Yeah.
All right, Mario Mosen, you got anything coming up?
Hello, it's Uncle Jim 2.0. And well, I mean, actually nothing gun related, guys. I just got more freaking VA appointments to go to this week, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing when they send you to another specialist to go get fucking checked. I'm like, I don't know. Just saying. No, I don't have STDs, dickheads. I already know you guys are going to put some bullshit on the comic blocks. No, right? It's my cabeza. Just saying. No, but no, they're just checking me out for my TBI and see how fucked up I am. But, it's all good. But anyways, hopefully this week I get a chance to go and test some of my loads that I got done with my cast bullets and see how those go. It's been fun, guys. Thank you so much, Alan, for inviting me. And it's always good to see the panel and the side chat. Love you guys, no homo. And you guys stay safe.
All right. Professional amateur, you want to mention about Monica or anything?
Yeah, Monica's actually hopefully in the better hands right now. We picked up her mom from the airport yesterday, so she's here to help her out. That was quite a. It wasn't as easy because there's still a travel ban, because of the COVID. But we were able to get a waiver, so I put a link in the description for the GoFundMe. So the giveaway is still on. If you guys want to donate and get entered in a raffle, we got a bunch of prizes. There's a couple of videos on it on my channel. So thanks for having me. Hopefully everybody will have a really nice week this coming week. I know I'll be busy as well. I got framing jobs to start, so hopefully the weather will cooperate. And I don't know as far as the videos go because shooting season's almost over. We got a one match next week, and might have another one after that. But I do have something awesome coming up, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be a little surprise.
All right. Well, it's been a very good evening. I greatly appreciate everybody that showed up, not only in the side chat, but here in the room. Thank you very, very much, gents, for coming in and participating. Yeah, I just haven't been able to do anything other than the project that seems to be never ending. It's not a big project, and I was going to release something more about it, but it's ended up kicking my hide a little bit. But the pistol range is coming along, and I am starting to stack railroad ties now. So what little free time I've got is being devoted to that. Other than that, I haven't been able to get out and do much of anything. So I don't have anything coming up for you other than to let you know to keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Have yourself a great evening. Much love. Mario.